I want to talk about the topics on the screen. I saw a lot of interviews with Tasha K talking about cis women and all of these type of things. And I wanted to have this conversation with black women only, specifically. Number two, I wanted to talk about being able to express opinions or thoughts differently when it comes to topics like this. Number three, I wanted to talk about black women putting each other first because this is something I'm going to talk about a lot. And until we can get it together, I also want to talk about number four. Are men biologically hardwired to behave certain ways? Because I hear that a lot. I see a lot of like popular popular like YouTubers, popular TikTokers that say that men are biologically hardwired to behave in certain manners, to do certain things. And I want to talk about, do women really believe that? So y'all could tell me which topic you want to talk about. And then we can have a debate about it or have a discussion about it, as long as we keep it respectful. I think that everybody is entitled to their own opinions and thoughts on all of these topics, just as long as you're respectful, you know. So if anybody wants to come in and hit me up and give me a request, we definitely can have a discussion about it. But first of all, I wanted to say that I really do think, with the state of the world and how it seems to be going, black women should be very aware of the fact that they don't have very many allies, and they should try their best to band together and stick together and put each other first. Not focus on anybody else's issues, nothing that's going on with anyone else, even though people will try to shame us to tell us, hey, y'all should worry about us, or y'all should worry about this or worry about that. I don't think that we should allow ourselves to be swayed by any of those things. I truly believe that if we are able to have a cohesive, like at least start some type of movement to where we focus on ourselves, I do think that we can get somewhere. And stopping and not to allow people, really is what I'm trying to say, to take advantage of us, because a lot of times people will have black women do the leg work, black women to do the muling and the mammying, and then all of a sudden when black women are looking up to someone else for them to help them or protect them or stand up for them, then there's no one there around. Everybody acts like they don't remember that black women were helping, and say, oh no, you guys are ghetto, you guys are ignorant, you guys are worthless, you guys are this, that, ghetto, etc., 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 etc. But then it's like, okay, well, we weren't any of those things when you were asking for help. We weren't any of those things when you said that you need me to lend my voice. We weren't any of those things when you asked me to organize some type of protest or some type of movement to help you. And that's exactly the reason why I do feel like, in order for people to really understand the position that they have put black women in, is black women have to simply stop doing it. Period. And I don't care. People say, well, what about the kids? What about the world? What's going on? So what? Who cares? Y'all don't care when it's black women. I saw a lot of people talking about Breonna Taylor. When Breonna Taylor was horribly unalived in the most unjust way possible, nobody did any movements for her. Nobody did any, oh, we're not going to eat here, we're not going to eat there, we're going to boycott this, we're going to boycott that. All I saw was people trying to bend over backwards to find some way to blame this girl for her own demise, her own unaliving. That's what I saw. The people that I saw making the most noise for her were other black women. It certainly wasn't any of the people that constantly asked black women for help. So, as I said before, I do think that black women have got to stop doing it, period. And I know that you may see videos of people suffering and you may feel motivated to help, or you may feel like, oh, wow, that's so unjust. Exactly. People rely on the moral compass of black women, the fact that black women know right from wrong, and, to get us to do this. And let's see here. Nisa says Taylor's movement was in Grand Rapids. it being in Grand Rapids is not worldwide. I mean, like a nationwide situation. Um, Everybody doing it, and I didn't see that. Hey T, how you doing, sis?
Oh, hey, what's going on? I was gonna say, you until you finish cooking.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you? Like,
What's
do you have
that?
a YouTube, T? Because I uploaded the live that we had a couple days ago on my YouTube, and there were some ladies asking, saying that you were cooking, and they wanted to know if you had a YouTube.
Actually, I don't.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
I
I was
don't. I
telling.
don't. Sorry. So I have to look at your video. I haven't even been on YouTube in a minute. Only time I be on YouTube is look at Gracie Corner and Miss Rachel because of the kids.
Oh,
You
okay,
know, I
okay,
have to
okay,
go back
okay.
to watching YouTube at night. I'll be exhausted. But
Oh, okay, okay.
I really appreciate this conversation though, like the topic. I really do appreciate this topic because when I started speaking out openly about certain things, how we are as black women are always like they use our race, like they weaponize our race in order for us to get on board to guilt shame us and to make us feel like pleasing to our I would say our sympathetic nature, because black women are very sympathetic and understanding, and they weaponize that against us for us to be on board with them so they can use us. Like, just because I'm a black woman, that don't mean that I have to be on the side by I have to jump on board with everybody supposedly facing discrimination, because me as a black woman, I have my own unique discrimination. And specifically, I cannot be on a bandwagon and help everybody get their justice when I as a black woman do not have mine. I don't have my just. I don't have have no bill in this country to protect black women, even though everyone knows the atrocities that be happening to us, and in the home and in the workplace and in the streets. Like, no one cares to help us, but everybody want us to help everybody else. And what I don't like what other black women do is trying to say, when we talk about these tea situations, that when they can talk about men all day, somehow, some way, they are exempt. Like, as if, like, because they supposedly put on a dress, put on a makeup, or put on wigs and heels, they supposed to relate to me. No, you do not relate to me, because one, you are just a feminine man. That's number one. You're just a feminine man. That's number one. Number two, I didn't create robophobic. So why am I got to be the one to clean it up? Why I got to help clean it up? And they did a good job convincing black women that whatever happens to them is going to eventually trickle on down and happen to you, which I am in a disagreement with that. So that's one thing that I'll say. So
Okay, okay, I got you. I will say this. The reason why I made the first topic of what you were just talking about is because I was on Instagram, and I saw like a whole bunch of different Tasha K clips. And I'm on the fence about Tasha K, because I do think that Tasha K is a bit of a pick me. She doesn't show it all the time, but it rears its nasty head um quite often. Yeah, I'm 50-50 with her too. And but however, so I was watching her. She had did like several interviews with T women, and it's like, it was like one that she did. The person was telling her how they have more hormones in their body than she does, more female hormones. And, so by that default, that they would be more feminine than her, or more of a female, or weaker than her, all these things. And, for me personally, I just feel like the fact that they are able to tell women that they are more of a woman than you, it just speaks to the delusion of what has occurred. And now people are afraid to say, hey, that's crazy, that's disrespectful to me, because if I said such and such to you, you be losing your mind. And I feel like at some point we have to say, hey, as long as I'm not advocating for you to not be able to live or not to have rights or not for you to do what you want to do, I don't have to agree with the what's going on in your mind. I don't have to acknowledge you as nothing, because nobody gives that grace for black women. Like if I say, hey, stop acknowledging me as ghetto, or stop calling me a baby mama, or stop calling me this or that, and acting like I'm such an, people still do it. No one cares. But for some reason you want me to look at you with your, Adam's apple popping and your deep voice, and you sit there and tell me, with the Franks and beans right there swinging, because over 90% of them never even removed that. You want to tell me that you're more feminine to me. I don't understand it. And then it's like you want me to use all these terms to respect you, which is not a problem. But then if I say don't call me sis, then all of a sudden I'm this intolerant, hateful douchebag. And I don't understand that either. And I feel like, it's so many women that want to talk about, like there are people that follow Princella, right? Where Princella says that, hey, men are biologically hardwired to do this, that, and the third. Now, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that Princella say, but I will say a lot of women say that. So if you agree with
Right.
that, fine. But if you agree with that, but you think that because a man decides to, make some alterations, that now all of a sudden he's different, biologically means fundamentally your genetics, fundamentally your DNA. So, and you
Right.
can't change that ever. So if you say that, what are you doing? How can you tell me that if we're trying to be safe or have these communities which safe spaces for black women, that black women should stick together and build some type of community? How will we do that when there's still a situation where black women are in an unsafe position? Because at the end of
Exactly.
the day, you can do what you want to do, but you still will never be what you're trying to be. And I don't understand how it is hateful. It's just such a double standard. And I don't understand how women have gone along with it. But in my opinion, it is because, men by nature dominate women. They dominate women. You got women
Yes.
right now going crazy because of Trump, and men making, tweets saying now it's your body, my choice, and all of these other things. That's what happened. Men come in and say, hey, no, heifer, it's going to be this way. And it's this way and this way and this way. And that's how I'm saying it is. And I don't understand how women don't make the correlation that it's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you, even though I'm not a female, I'm going to tell you what femininity is. I'm going to tell you what being a woman is. I'm going to tell you what being a woman is or it ain't, and that you ain't what I'm trying to say. And I don't understand why women don't take more offense to that. And this isn't coming from a hateful place, because do you? I don't care what you do in your time, but I tell you what, you're not going to tell me what to think about it. As long as I'm not somewhere preaching hate against you, that's fine, but you're not going to tell me what to think about my femininity or whatever. Like, and I feel like the more that this goes on, the more women, it's kind of like a split. Like, I don't know if it's a 50-50 split, because when I have conversations like this, it seems to be more like a 75-25 split, where 75% of women understand what I'm saying and they're on board, and then 25% that is like, that's totally brainwashed and have lost their minds. I think that's really the percentage at least. But you tell me what you think, T.
I agree with you 110%. And the only thing that I'm just going to add in addition to is that it is a certain amount of hypocrisy, and it is a certain amount of double standard. And the simple fact is that these women, black women that want to call themselves so-called feminists, womanists, and all this other stuff, they have adopted an idea that masculinity is the enemy. They are against masculinity, and they perceive to believe that a masculine man is a dangerous man. And if a man is more in touch with his femininity and his feminine side, he would be less of a threat. He'd be more understanding to our feelings. He would treat us like human beings. And I had made a live that I said that turning a man becoming feminine does not cure his misogyny.
No, because
It does not.
I've seen too many feminine men smack a woman up, cuss a woman
Absolutely.
out, get in her face and call her
Absolutely.
all type of B words and get ignorant and
Absolutely.
crazy. I remember
Absolutely.
I saw this video of this man, a G man very upset because apparently the girl whose hair he was doing didn't like the hairstyle that he did, and he proceeded. They had a back and forth verbal disagreement, and he proceeded to beat the brakes off of her in that beauty salon.
That's
And
also
I'm just
offensive.
like, what are y'all talking about? And it was like some women like, oh, she shouldn't have, like, that's still a man, ma'am. Are you crazy?
But this is where I blame. This is the part that I blame women. When men had cast G men to the side, saying you're not a real man, all this other stuff, they compared them to women, and women ate it up and say, yeah, okay, a feminine man is equivalent to me. That is where women messed up. A G man is not equivalent to a woman. That's a man. That's between those men. That's between the men that said that he's weak versus the men. Because I still look at a G man. He still got his masculine traits because they can still be jealous. They can still be aggressive. They still display strength. It does not take away the fact that he's just more feminine, but he still carry his masculine traits, and his characteristic shows it, especially when he is in a room with a woman. That is the real personality. His real misogyny comes out. I've always said this. I said, if you want to see a G man's real personality come out, let it be a man that he's into, but he's into a woman. That's when you're going to hear everything, all his misogynistic comments come out. Just like Saucy Santana, he is very misogynistic. Very misogynistic. All the things that he be saying, and I be listening like no one's peeping on his misogynistic rants. He's very anti-women, even though he wants to be a woman. He's very anti-woman. He do not like women, female whatsoever. Those are the type of dudes that I actually do not like. But when we say that out loud, they use the same shaming tactics that men usually do to women. They call us, oh, you hateful, you're robophobic. You can't even say you dislike a man. It just so happened to be G without them throwing in robophobic. And then I always, no, let's get back to why I don't like the guy. His sexual orientation has nothing to do with it. I don't like him because he's misogynistic, because he's abusive, because he's this and because he's that. That is why I do not like him. His sexual orientation has nothing to do with it. And what women on this app keep doing is it's like they trying to like ignore the idea that you hear this man saying some disrespectful stuff as women towards women, and y'all don't see anything. Like y'all they would get upset if a man say female. If a man was to go up on a panel full of women and say female, all the women get triggered, all the women get mad. I'll call us women, call us women. But then if a G man was to say, bitch, let me tell you something, nobody gets upset about that.
Yes,
No one gets upset about that.
I've always found that weird. I've always found that weird. I really have. And I've always been the one to be like, yeah, that's not welcome here. Period. We're not gonna do that, because I feel like if you wouldn't allow just, Tyrone down the street to do it, you shouldn't allow him to do it. There's literally no difference other than what he likes to do in his private life. That doesn't make any difference. It's still a man disrespecting you. It's still a man playing in your face. And just like in the comments, Better Now Girl said fish. I always comment on the term fish, because that is a comment that a word that they use often to describe looking like a woman or whatever. And that is so degrading that you're saying that women smell like fish. And my thing is that if we said, and I've seen T women use fish, I've seen G-men use fish. And if we was to do something like that, the world would be ending ASAP. Like, ended. It would be so much backlash. But for some reason, now it's transferred over to the fact that it's okay to disrespect women as long as you're in both of those categories. And sad to say, women have played a huge part in their own oppression when it comes to this. Like, just lying. Like I said, I refuse to lie. Like, I saw, like, you're not about to be 6'5" and you got a wig on and you like, yeah, yeah, we're on the same level. Yeah. No, we're not. We're not. I don't care what you taking. You're not. You never will be. Fundamentally, you don't know what it's like to be me. Our genetic markings are different. Like, it's different, period. And you can be what you want to be, but you cannot redefine what it is that you want to be because you want to be it. If that makes any sense. It's literally
It does
insane.
make sense. It does. Come on, please leave the kitchen. Please leave the kitchen. You know, it does make sense. Is to me that is the coddling that women claim that they don't do anymore to men. That they're saying, "Oh, we don't coddle men," but you will coddle a man in a dress and say that he's a woman when you know he is not. That's exactly what you were. If a man was to sit up there, jump up on a panel, a hetero man was to jump up on a panel and say, "Yeah, I work for McDonald's. I'm a high value man." Every woman in that panel will rip him into shred and give him his reality check that he's not. But when a T person come up and say, "Yes, I'm a woman. You know, I just transitioned last night." Yes, you are. And don't let nobody tell you that you're not. And yes, you are. You're validated here. No, that you're coddling his delusion. We might as well coddle the delusion of the guy that work at McDonald's that he's a high value man. Where do we draw the line here? It seemed like this is a topic women do not like to touch because they want to make it seem like they're very open-minded, that, oh, they was the G-man and the T person was ostracized by masculine men, and that means that they on our side. That's like saying, like, just because a Japanese person is facing discrimination, that means they on black people's side. No, they're not on black people's side because they're facing discrimination with the same party. No, because at the end of the day, that Japanese person could be racist too. They're just going to be teaming up with us for a common goal so he can take over. And that's what I believe. That's the main part what these T people be doing. It's not about convincing us that they're women. It's convincing hetero man that they're women. That's the goal. The goal is to convince hetero man that they are women. That's why I do not understand why women jumping into this fight. This got nothing to do with us. Stop trying to help them. They are just using you, using your oppression, using what you went through in life to get to a man, a hetero man, so he can accept him for what he is and call him a woman. Because to sit there and say, well, what you go through is not as bad as I go through. He basically shitted on your oppression as a woman. He just shitted on it. How would you know my oppression is not as bad as yours? Just because you go through identity crisis, that don't mean that what I went through as a woman since I was born, that you can relate to me, because you can. Because you can. We grew, especially when they was growing up as ex-wives their whole life, and then they made their transition. That means that when you came into this planet, especially as a black woman, as a black female baby, you were indoctrinated what it is what you're supposed to do, and particularly as a female.
I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I do feel like, just like you said, it is a lot of women's fault for accepting it. And I do believe that there is an agenda to get men to accept it, because I think that, even though this is weird to say, I think that they are extremely male centered. So even though they're males, if that makes sense, that a lot of everything that they're doing is centered around, males, but I really think it's more centered around straight males and their approval. But honestly, it's something that I think women realize, or at least smart women realize, is that straight men have certain things that they'll never accept. Even if it is, and I think that that's something, and I've said this a million times, certain things that black women should adopt. Because it's like, men, that nobody shames men for saying, hey, I'm not going to date an ugly woman, or I'm not going to date a woman that weighs a certain amount, or I'm not going to date a woman that is a certain age, or this or that. And people just say, oh yeah, men are visual creatures, men are this or that, and so that's just how they are, and they don't get shamed for this type of thing. However, when women want to say, oh, well, I don't want to talk to him because he ain't got no money, or I don't want to talk to him because he's too short for me, or this or that, women are shamed, and then a lot of times women end up lowering their standards, because they want to be looked at society wise, that they're not this type of demanding person or whatever the case may be. But I've said all that to say this is that men, they especially straight men, they have certain standards that they don't go over. Like, how like men still will be ran through and have a million partners, and they still judging a woman that got a body count of 2, and they feel completely justified in that, even though the world will tell them that's wrong, that's ignorant, that's out of pocket, it's hypocritical, because look at you didn't gave that peanut to everybody at the bus station or anywhere, and so I
Not
think
the
that they
bus
have to
station.
understand that the major percentage of straight men will never accept them as female, ever. It will never happen. They won't care if you shame them and call them phobic. They won't care if you say they're this or that. They still gonna say nope, 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 absolutely not. It would never happen. So I don't believe ever in life that will ever occur. Not from at least truly heterosexual males. They'll never accept it, because men never do it anyway. They've been shamed for a million different things that they think, and that's mainstream of thought processes, and people have tried to convince them of otherwise, and they don't do it because they don't care. Because men don't, they never, in my opinion, change their standards for society or for women. And if women would do that, the world would be so much better. If women would stop giving
Absolutely.
grace, that they would stop giving grace because men don't, they would be so much better. Because it's just like, when you think about cheating or whatever, how most men are going, you're gone. And then even if he was to lightweight sneak and want to take you back, soon as he tell his friends, his boy, his dad, or whatever, they're all gonna say, "Man, is you crazy? Get rid of that girl." Absolutely not. But then on the flip side, with women, you got her grandma, her mom, her friend. "Oh, girl, he pay your bills. He nice to you. He did it. Go ahead and take him back and accept him." And that's the difference. Like, men stand on business when it comes to being disrespected, and for the most part, I'm not saying every man, but for the most part, they got a standard and a rule and a boundary, or what they think is this or that. They not gonna change it. They beating the brakes off of women and telling them they can't even speak out in public in places. They know that's insane, but that's exactly what they gonna do because that's what they think is right. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. And another thing I'm gonna add on to as well. Now you have G men with the audacity. You have G men with the audacity to say whole panels, and women are online with this too. If you do not have sex or date a bi man, you robophobic. That is coercion. That's coercion. And I say this on lives and I always get kicked out. I said that's coercion. If a woman says no, her no is a no. Don't quite, or like, oh, we're not forcing her. We just want to impact on why she says no. And I said that it doesn't. Hold on, let me mute.
Okay, I got you. I mean, like I said, I definitely agree with you. I remember back in the day when I used to like really debate people on Facebook. I had a friend that I went to school with. He was my Facebook friend for years. He got mad at me because I said that a woman has a right to choose on what orientation the man is that she's dating. If she doesn't want to date a man that is bi, that is her right, and there's not anything discriminatory about that. They should have the choice of who they want to talk to. And I was told, man, I was bugging, I was out of my mind, which I thought was absolutely crazy. I was like, so now when you look at it from like and this is just like, if you look at it from a logical perspective, regardless of what people want to say, these are the facts. This is a fact. A G man or a bi man, especially a black one, has a 50% chance, if I'm not mistaken. It might be more now, but the risk was at least 50% of contracting, the package. I'm just saying it because I wouldn't say that to be disrespectful. I just don't know what you can say on TikTok. The package in their lifetime, a 50% risk. Why would I take in? I'm already at risk being a black woman and being out here in life and moving. Why would I go with somebody that has an even more increased chance of these type of things? Why would I do that? Why? So statistically, it doesn't even make any sense. You get what I'm saying? You got people out here with the sickle cell trait. The sickle cell trait is 50% chance. It's people out here with the trait that's giving it to all of their children. Why? Because 50% is a big deal. Like, that's basically, nobody would drink a glass of water that somebody said, hey, it's a 50% chance or whatever you drink in here, you're going to be definitely sick for like 2 weeks. Phil, but it's only a 50% chance. Who would take those odds? Nobody intelligent would. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of these things, I was looking up some information where they were talking about how like G women were and also T men were being forced to interact with T women and also interact with men. And they were
Yes.
like, hey, they were being shamed into doing it even though they didn't want
Yes.
to. And
It, it,
that's a male characteristic, period, to do
it
things
is a
like
male
that.
characteristic to be basically grapists. And I feel like when they are telling women to, if you don't date a T woman or a G man, you robophobic or you T phobic, you are taking away that woman right to choose who she wants to sleep with. You are taking away her right to who she wants to sleep with. And she has a right to say no. Why does a woman body got to be on a table to comply? Why a woman's body got to be on the table to show compliance? Why can't she just say no, still treat you like a human being, still be cool with you, but you just ain't getting the box? There's nothing wrong with that. If it's no different from when hetero man can't face rejection. They can't face rejection either. It's just that male characteristic. They cannot do, and I kept saying that on the live. I said, why don't you learn how to take rejection? Oh, it's not about rejection. It's about impacting why, if it's that's they pass, that's not for you to decide. You're not her counselor. Who are you? You just a dude that want to get in her pants. It sounds like to me what you are doing is weaponizing your sexuality, and you weaponizing that community to sleep with women, to take away their consent. That is what you're doing in a nutshell. You are taking away a woman's consent. And I do not condone that. That is grape. I do not condone that. I do not accept it. And it's downright disgusting. And you need to be told about yourself. And he tried to twist my words and say, oh, it's like you trying to say having sex with, and they like to play semantics. They like to try to use word games, just like a man, try to be manipulative. It's just that we got to stay on point and stick to the script of what we're saying and not get too triggered. But when you hear the word robophobic, a lot of women get hung up. Oh no, I'm not and they get off topic. No. Stick to the script. They say that to distract you, because I've been on plenty of panels battling these people, and I picked up game how the way they talk. They talk they talk in manipulation. They don't talk with facts. They talk in manipulation.
All right, okay, let me go down here. All right, I got you, T. I definitely agree. Let me go down here to the main character of life.
Ray, please do not say nothing crazy, please, on this topic. I know you probably going. I know how you feel about this. I heard you before. Please don't say nothing that's gonna jeopardize the life. Please, Ray.
I'm not gonna jeopardize the live, but me telling you, I'm not gonna use words. I'm gonna use all the TikTok safe words. With that said, I didn't interrupt you. I don't want interruptions neither.
Okay, the main
Right?
character. Hey, I don't know you. You sound like you're a
That's
male.
cool. I'm a
I
man. I'm a
T,
grown
yes,
man.
T is someone that I really respect and I like. So I need you
I
to respect
follow
me.
her. I
Yeah.
respect and I like her too. But she was on bullshit when she tried to portray that. I'm gonna say something so wrong that she would be in the right to
Not
interrupt
wrong,
me.
but listen to me, Ray. Not wrong. You talk vulgar. The type of language you're going to use is going to be considered H speech. That's the only
Oh,
thing.
yo,
That's it.
but host, are you seeing that? She's
Yes.
assuming I'm gonna use hate
I mean,
speech.
I got
She
you. I
No,
doesn't
you
but
don't
know.
get what I'm
She
saying,
don't
Ray.
know. She
You
don't
don't get
know.
what I'm
I'm really
saying. Ray,
not
that's
gonna
guys,
do that.
hold
I'm
on.
really not gonna do that.
I just want to say this, and I really need y'all to understand this. This is a space for black women. I'm always going to center black women first. I'm always going to be partial to black women. I'm always going to give them the benefit of the doubt. If I have to choose between a black man and or a white man or an Asian man or a Hispanic man or a Latino man or a green, yellow, purple, zebra colored man, it's always going to be black women first. I'm never going to give you the benefit of the doubt over a black woman. That's how I roll here. So just understand that when you begin to speak. I'm never gonna see your side first. But you can still speak. I'll give you a
Look,
chance.
I respect that. Look, I respect that, but I also have to say, you're one of the piece of shit women who don't matter in the entire world. Men stay playing you because you live on this.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, I'll tell you something.
See,
The reason
I
why
don't
you
know
tried
what
to,
he's talking about.
let me just say this. I don't know who you thought you was, but men will never play me. You will never play me. All you will do is get kicked off and booted off of my live. I don't understand. Your voice sounds ashy. You got a picture of, I don't know, an Afro dog on your page, which lets me know that you cool. You know, I'm glad you know who you are, which is a dog. So understand that you will never get the last word here. I will never respect you. And you know what? I don't like to just listen to people's voices and just judge them. But I already knew that you was an ashy dust bucket by the way you were speaking, by the tone of your voice. I can tell a man that's probably been in a joint. You probably been somebody's power bottom. I can tell by just the way that you were speaking with that aggressive, rough, a tone that you have abused a woman, disrespected a woman a time or two in your life or currently already. I have no idea why you thought that you was going to get any type of anything over here. Maybe you used to women centering you. Maybe you used to women allowing you to speak or giving you some type of grace because you have franks and beans. But that's not how we do it here, baby. Men don't play me. Maybe they played your mammy. Maybe they played her, or maybe they played you when you were in the joint doing your time for stealing out of Walmart or whatever it is that you do. Because I can tell a man has done time in the joint. I can hear it in his voice, and I know that you have. All right, I know that you've used that soap on a rope, and you were afraid of dropping it before. So I don't know what you thought, but all I'm saying is it won't be done here. You're just simply getting dropped. You don't know me, but I can tell you, I can guarantee you that I know you. Ashy Negroes like you are a dime a dozen. Y'all are literally everywhere in all 50 states. Ashy, broke, dusty, mad at black women because they have managed to make achievements and strides that you never have been able to do. Mad that your bank account is at negative $5.55 with a pending overdraft charge. That is a fact. Mad, angry that you got to catch the bus or take a lift to get to where you got to go. Angry that you got to pay child support for children that you created. That they're taking a whopping $25 out of your check that you work at the tip agency every week. I know your type, but I'm not even gonna keep tearing you up because you're just that unimportant. But I just wanted you to know that you would never, ever have a voice here. And you will never disrespect any black woman that I have here. Like, I really need y'all to know this. Y'all be looking at me like I'm finna give you the host, give me the benefit of the doubt. No, I would never give you the benefit of the doubt. I would never give you a one up over a black woman. The difference between me and probably some other women that you have interacted with on here is that when I say it's black women over everything, I mean it. I mean it. When I say that it's black women over everybody, I mean it. Your ashy behind will never be centered here. Go somewhere and brush your teeth. Go somewhere and go work out. Go somewhere and lift up your stomach so that you can see your ball sacks, which I'm sure that you never have seen in the past 15 years. Like, get it together. Boy, I would never let you bring your ashy behind back up here on this platform. So stop sending me requests to come back up because you would never be allowed to come back up here ever again. You got one time and one time with me only. And you better be glad my husband, he went downstairs, because if he was here, I would have let him tear you up. Because a lot of times with y'all little ashy feminine boys, y'all get real quiet when a man matches y'all energy. Y'all don't know how it is because the only thing y'all are used to is coming at women and attacking women because y'all are so weak that y'all and so scared and so frail that y'all only feel like a man when y'all are able to talk to a woman. Do better. Honestly, do better, sir. You need to go ahead and take some type of testosterone pills, get you a honey pack, go on and get you some of those like little male boosters to up your masculinity. I don't know what it is that you need, but I don't engage with weak men. I don't do that. So, and I'm sure that you're used to maybe the low-hanging women that you may possibly be able to attract, giving you a second chance, but I don't do that. Men don't get second chances here, baby. You had one chance to be respectful. You should have understood that I said that this is a black woman's space, and that's what I mean. You ain't gonna check nobody here. Who do you think you are? You ain't nobody. And you would never check a woman here, baby. Check yourself. Check your prostate. You know what I'm saying? Check the back of your tongue and see if you scraped it today. You know what I'm saying? But you won't check nothing else, baby. So get lost. All right, go ahead, T. Did you have something to say, sis?
Any cahoots before homie came up here. Any cahoots. Yeah, like I said, when we was talking back, how they have an audacity to try to coerce women. G-men and the T women are now trying to force women to sleep with them, and that's very predatory, in my opinion. Not even my opinion, it's a fact. They're very predatory, and I feel that because women are so welcoming, these women want to be so politically correct, they want to fight, want to be social justice warriors so much that they do not have no discernment because they too welcoming. They don't use their common sense in conversations. They contradict themselves. They don't go by true biology and science. They just going by what sounds nice and what should be accepted in their opinion, when they don't realize that by them accepting this, you are opening up a dangerous door to women. But they are not thinking of it like that, because in their mind, these are good people. And I always ask them, you think every T person is a good person? Every T woman is a good person? Well, that I don't be hearing nothing on the news or something that they did. Also, because it's not on the news, it's not true. Isn't that what we say to men all the time when we talk about grave and
Or when
abuse?
they
Just
say
because
all
it's
men,
not
when they say it's all men
all men until it's none, but for some
Yes.
reason they're not included.
Yeah.
When we say all men, me and Supervillain that was up here, we say all men. We say the ones in the dresses, the ones who date men, the one that's feminine, because not every G man is feminine and not every feminine man is G. I don't believe that. Because I did a live that I said misogyny, and I put DL men, T women, G men, and I put masculine, masculine men, feminine men. I said y'all all carry misogyny and y'all all punch down on women. All of y'all do. And who's to say on this election when they saw, I think I already mentioned it. No, I didn't mention it. I'm going to mention it now. That when we saw the election, we see black women up in upset that white T women, majority of T women voted for Trump. I mean, white T women voted for Trump. Who said those were biological women? Think about it. They never said they were biological women. They could have been white T women voting for Trump against you. Because I do believe that they do vote to take away women's body autonomy. Like, I really do believe that they do as well, because one, they have no skin in the game with taking away our rights, our certain rights from us, because they cannot relate.
You know what, T? I just feel like this. I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I don't. What can I say on here? I have no more F's to give. Like, for real. The only people that I can make myself care about or be concerned about is black women, period. Because when things go on with black women, nobody is making noise about them. Nobody is saying, oh, I'm going to start this movement for you, black women, because, y'all have done so much for everybody else. So y'all just sit this out. We got y'all. We going to march for y'all. We going to tear up stuff for y'all. We going to stop going to places for y'all. We going to not eat here, not eat there, and not do this and not do that just for black women. It never happens, and it will never happen. And so, in my opinion, I feel like today, 2024 is the year for black women to be selfish and to say, you know what? If you're not a black woman, you're not a biological black woman, you don't have the same exact, the walk in life that I have, I cannot do right now to focus on protecting you, defending you, doing things. I have to focus on myself, because if I'm just like people say, if I'm not well, I can't pour into anybody else, or if I'm not right, if I'm not happy, I can't. So I have to be focused on me and my sisters first. Now, maybe after I get all of us together and we're all in a great state, then I can focus on you or whatever. And I have no idea why that is considered hateful, because nobody else is given the task of being the world's superwoman other than Black women. You have people of other races, other demographics, other ethnicities, and they are able to focus simply on them and say, hey, you know what? We matter. We're focusing on us. We got to get ourselves together. But for some reason, when it comes to Black women, biological Black women who I'm speaking of, they say, hey, I just want to focus on us. Then it's World War III. Then it's, oh, you guys are selfish. Oh, you guys are phobic. Oh, you guys are this and that and the third. And I just can't be bothered to care about people that don't understand. Even if it's other Black women that are saying, oh, what you guys, what? You don't understand? Oh, okay. I remember I made this video, right? And I made it on YouTube, and I made like, it was like about DL men or something like that. And I had used a meme of a guy eating a corn dog, and it was like a real big long corn dog. And this lady came in my comments and was like, oh, you know what? I think that was a phobic statement. Is it a safe space for, and this is a regular Black woman, biological Black woman here. Is this a safe space for other parties here? Because why would you use the corn dog emoji or meme or whatever? And I'm asking her, like, do you think that if there was something that could possibly maybe minutely be considered as inflammatory about Black women, do you think that the people that you're advocating right now will be somewhere bothering their fave? Because she said I was one of her faves. Do you think they would be in the comments bothering their fave in defense of you? Do you really? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be saying anything, but yet here you are with your mammy cape on. And I find that to be very strange that Black women want to do that. They want to be the mammy. They want to be the defender. They want to be the protector of people that would never do the same for them. And it's like, at this point, like, I try to stay away from like touchy topics like this, but I made this live today on purpose because you know how we said that we want to start building this like really like network of Black women, like-minded Black women, so we can actually get somewhere. I need to weed out the ones that are on the BS. I really do. And they will expose themselves with these videos and be like, oh, I'm unfollowing you. I never want to hear your comments again. I don't want to see it. It's just the same way that I had made this video. They didn't realize I made it on purpose. I think I lost it wasn't a lot, but I guess it's a lot to me because I look at every person that follows me as family. I had lost like 20 followers or whatever because I made a video and I exposed the thoughts of how some white tea men look at Black women. And apparently I pissed off the women that are mad at Black men, which I understand. I never give any type of pushback to women that have problems with Black men, specifically Black women that have issues, because I understand it. I see what's going on, that we don't have any protection from the collective of Black men. I would never tell Black women and lie to them and say I don't see it. But they were like, oh, how dare you say this about white tea men? They love us. They care about. I'm like, first of all, the majority of them won't even date you or touch you. That's a statistical fact. The majority would never talk to you, never date you, never marry you, never engage with you. And if they do, it'll be on a late night creep, and that's it. That's a fact. That doesn't mean that there aren't any that will, because there are, but they are in the minority. I made a video about this. Women went crazy, went nuts, because I tried to get them to understand that we don't have any friends. We don't have any allies. There's nobody as a collective, as a whole, to defend us or protect us or to uplift us or to stop the slander, other than Black women. That's just a fact. When you see something really going crazy, like if people remember like the James and Fahad situation, or anytime somebody really plays on Black women's top, I would encourage any Black woman to look at who's making the videos, who's making the stitches, who's making the noise, who's saying how mad they are. It's Black women. And that's it. And maybe a spattering. You might see a couple Black men that, care about Black women that might say their piece or whatever. But 90% of who you're going to see is going to be Black women. So the Black women that want to try to talk about somebody else, or they want to try to check me and say, oh no, we got to include this, that, and the third. They can't come. It's just like Harriet Tubman. Like they can't come. She got to be, oh no, they're gonna snitch. They're a Sambo. They can't. I gotta leave you behind, homie. You can't come. You can't come. So that's what I look at it like. This is just all to weed out who's not supposed to be there. Because I don't want those type of black women there, because those are the type of black women that will derail the whole movement. Those are the type of black women that will mess up everything for a demographic that wouldn't even spit on them if they were on fire.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
can't do it.
Absolutely, like what they did to West 4B. Exactly that. It was black women that was leading the charge, because she said to a white T person who was an ex YT supremacist, but just became a woman like what, a year ago or something like that, and they all took sides of that individual, had him on platforms talking about us, and all the while he's an ex YT supremacist. And they said, we on the line of helping women, but you gave a white supremacist a platform to talk about your fellow sisters, because we said, no, we do not. We want an all women space to let other women feel safe.
And that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm
I was
hoping
gonna,
that.
I was just, because I had to stop for a
Oh,
second.
okay, go ahead.
No, and what I was saying, because I keep getting distracted with these kids. Anyways, another thing I was saying, like, yeah, like basically, yeah, black women, they send black women on purpose to go and fight other, like basically fight other black women. That's triangulation right there, which they love doing a lot. They love doing a lot. They like to put other black women against other black women. And the black women don't know that you are being a pawn. You are used as a pawn. They swear up and down that if I show that I am on their side, that, like, I don't know, I look at it like you trying to show that you are safe. Like you're a safe black person. Like you are like understanding black person. Like we not supposed to gatekeep nothing. Like we have to like just be totally submissive to all these ideologies that's supposed to be freedom. Like, you know, when you're supposed to be free to be whatever you want to be, black women are supposed to be in alignment to gain everybody else's freedom except for our own. And then we want to be in an all women space in order to feel safe, in order to feel like we could be amongst each other, we can talk, we have that right. But when we do that, when we was trying to do that, because we're saying the whole premise of the West 4B movement is no birth. They can't do that. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, they cannot do that. And they cannot participate, and they can't participate. But they somehow, but not somehow, but they tried to hijack and made the whole movement about them. They're very self-centered. They want everyone to fix their problems, and they are blameless of everything that they do. And black women need to just stop and just use their common sense and stop trying to be so welcoming and trying to be accepted. That's really on some mammy. That's on some mammy BS. You don't have to be accepted by every group. Every individual demographic, you don't have to be accepted by them. It's okay to say F y'all. I'm on my own here. It's okay to say that. It's okay to stand by you. If you are quick to throw away a black man, nobody else should be exempt. And that's the funny thing about these same black women. They're very quick to throw away a black man without feeling no remorse, no feelings whatsoever. But when it comes, it was that same black man was to throw on a dress, you accept him. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like it's really mind-boggling that how we've came so far to have some common sense, and common sense is still not even common. You know, you know what I'm saying, y'all? Like yada. It's just
no. You could Yaya. That's another one of my nicknames. That works.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't want to disrespect your name. I'm so sorry.
That works too.
But girl, like seriously, it's like when we talk about this topic, they are so quick to silence us, so quick to say shut up. Oh, it's like calling us robophobic and stuff. When they use those terminologies, it's supposed to be a shaming tactic to get you to be quiet. And that don't work with me, because I don't acknowledge it. I don't acknowledge it. I don't acknowledge the term, the ideology. So I don't acknowledge your slurs. You know, the slurs should not help you if hurt you if you don't agree with if you don't agree with the ideology. That's the trick. That's the trick where it doesn't make you feel ashamed because I don't agree with it. I don't believe in it. So you cannot insult me with a term that you came up with. But I'm a mute now. I'm a mute. Go ahead,
Okay, all right,
Yada.
T. All right, you can go ahead, Yada.
Nah, I agree with y'all. And truly, honestly, like there are toxic traits that show up in all people, but I believe because as people as black people especially, we're dealing with so much like post-traumatic syndrome. What shows up within black women is a level of devaluing themselves. And it's so funny because sometimes like the whole like stereotype is like black women are strong. Black women are strong in the sense that they will take a lot of dysfunction and they'll just put it on their back. But there's also a level of insecurity that lives within us where we will put up with a lot of stuff that other women will not put up with. Yeah, like growing up, y'all, it was just so traumatizing because I was like growing up watching all these movies of beautiful black women, the Carmen Dandras of the world, the Tina Turners of the world, beautiful black women absolutely being dogged. And I'm over here, and then also just in my family, right? Like the women in my family absolutely being dogged and not realizing it. And also defending their oppressor. My cake's been burnt since '09 because I had no reason to support anybody other than black women. So it was always like so sad to me when I would see black women devaluing themselves, literally putting themselves in positions where they're being devalued by men that, like you said, if they're burning won't even piss on them. And then like even in a scenario like my husband's white, when people come to me and they like, oh, should I date a white man, I don't even recommend it because because I'm concerned because I'm over here like, if you can't even navigate relationships with black men, I definitely don't want you stepping in a position where you think that white men are on your side. And the fact that you think that white men are on your side is absolutely delusional because these are the men that created this system. So the fact that you think that because there's a small minority of men that I'm all for going where you are loved, right? That's going to be a situation where you'll have to pick up the litter because you're welcoming yourself to any man that is open to you. But all men aren't conditioned to love black women. Hell, our men aren't conditioned to love black women. So the fact that you would think that white men as a majority want you is delusional. Like it's absolutely sad, and I really need my women to wake up because it's not a game. It's our lives that are constantly being affected. It's our kids living in dilapidated conditions. Like, so when I saw the 4B movement coming around, I was all for it. And to see, and then just in general, like the Mahogany Pinks of the world, she's on YouTube. Chrissy, I remember one time before Chrissy basically hopped on, the divestment movement, she cussed me out because I'm just like, I need black women to wake up. And then that's when she was still like, extremely pro black. And don't get me wrong, I'm also pro black, but I've always been pro black women because in my life, those were the only people that I could somewhat trust or at least have a conversation with, and we can find some similar grounds. But so I've always been pro black women, and I've had to be that way because I didn't have the support of my father, the men in my life. And then even when it comes to me dating outside my race, I'm not pro white man at all. Absolutely not. I'm pro my husband. My husband gets my love and support. No other man gets that. So the fact that you have a group of small subset of men who are considering black women, that's the exception, not the rule. And if women are really thinking that is the rule, oh my god, like this is why I don't think that black women, I think black women just need to be single. 4B movement is the reason why it needs to exist because they need to learn how to love
Yada.
themselves again. Well,
Yada.
love themselves finally.
Yada. Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
There are women that believe it is not the exception, but it is the rule. I got called a
that's
nanny
wild.
for saying just what you said. But I'm gonna
That's wild.
upload this live to YouTube, and I think that it's so beautiful that you came up here today because I'm so happy that you found someone that is loving you and treating you the way that you deserve. But I also am happy that you are saying the things that you're saying because you are partnered up with someone that is not a black man. Because people be acting like I be lying when I say these things, but maybe they will receive it more coming from you because they'll feel like you don't have like this secret agenda of trying to get black women
No.
to be with black men. So I'm so glad you came up and
No.
said these things.
I want black women to be with men that love them, but you will be doing a disservice to yourself to think that that's white men. What? Yeah, that might be 1 or 2 out of 10, but and because they're the majority, you might have more of the pick and litter compared to black men, but absolutely not. They are not your, as a whole, they are not your friends. That's just insane to me.
I mean, girl, I'm telling you, I was just trying to tell people that, but they was like, I'm the person that advocates to the fact that black women have no friends of anyone. Now, I'm
None.
not saying that you can't find someone or you can't find someone that will care for you, whether it be a white tea man, a Hispanic man, an Asian man, Latino man, maybe even a black man, that you can find someone to love you, but that's still in a very small
Yeah.
percentage. You know what I'm saying? Because the world is being conditioned to think that black women are just
Yeah.
disposable mammies, and they're only to be used for what you can use out of them, and then toss them to the side. But they're not really human beings. They don't really have any humanity to them. And that's all I ever try to get black women to see. So if you know that the world doesn't look at us as humans, but you know that you're a black woman and I know that I'm a black woman, and you know that when you look in the mirror, you're like, oh no, I'm a human. I'm a good person. I'm a good woman. I'm this, that, and the third. And I'm looking in the mirror at myself and I know the same thing about me. Then I know that the only people that can get us on track is each other, because we recognize the humanity in each other. And that's the only thing that I ever say. So don't put your faith in no man. But for some reason, when I say these things, people just go, it be like black women that just go crazy. Like, oh, you're trying to get us to stay with black men. You're trying to, like, no, I'm not. I just want you to realize the gravity of the situation. And I do understand that there are a lot of women, and I say this all the time, that are frustrated with black men and they want to be able to say, well, look, black man, I got somewhere to go. And these other men love me and do, but it's not the same. It's not the same how, like, black men go to white tea women and they run over them and they stomp on them and they do whatever and mistreat them any type of way. And those girls, because they fetishize them, they just let themselves be mistreated. It's not the same for us. We don't have that, and we never will, unfortunately. So trying to make another man be your savior is, like, to me, is insanity, and only set you up for the okie doke. You know?
Okie doke. And what happened with that young lady? Like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous work because, like, we got to realize, like, especially like white men, especially like, yo, these are men that are abusing their women. Like, it happens just like in the white community. They get abused. Look at the women that go missing. And the young lady who just got unalived because she went on a date. Like, you over here thinking that this is somebody you can trust. Little do you know, you gotta vet every man. I don't care who it is. Vet every man. Make sure your guard is secure before it goes. Make sure you can trust that man before your guard goes down, because any man will take advantage of you. So the fact that you think that a white man is on your side, I just don't understand it. I for the life of me, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I wanted to respond to this dude in the comments that said, are they rapping about it? And I'll just say this: no, they not. They just doing it. They just making laws to do it. They just voting in somebody that's gonna do that make them feel comfortable in doing whatever it is that they want to do. So I please don't play. Please don't be dense. Like, you see what's going on. I see white tea women hooting and hollering all day, every day about the way they are treated and the way they're devalued. Okay, so let's keep it a buck here. All right, let's keep it a band. If you ever look up DV rates, white tea women are less likely to report any type of thing. They say that a lot of studies have shown that rich white tea women that are well off, white tea women that are well off, that come from good families, are also getting the brakes beat off of them. But they statistically don't report as much because of shame and because of a lot of different other factors. So we will never know the true rates of violence when it comes to them, because they keep it quiet and don't say nothing about it. They take their beatings in private. So please don't play with me. Like, and if you don't believe me, you can use your phone, sir, and go look that up. Okay?
That part.
I
Like,
don't
these,
think that they do
like,
that.
you gotta vet, because you might end up dating an absolute deviant. Like, absolutely not. Like, and then when it comes to that as well, what they're finding is a lot of these young girls are being, abused by their fathers, and their mothers aren't reporting it.
Yep.
Like random, you said your comment stands. I'm about to randomly block your ass. Just so that
But
you
don't
know.
get me wrong, that also happens in the black community. I know in my family that's happened, where my grandma, of all people, protected her son over her granddaughter, right? Like, we devalue women. Like, when a woman speaks, a man will say the exact same thing. They'll hear the man say it, but when a black woman says it, somehow we disagree. And that's been my life. That's been my entire life. And I think that, you know, being a dark-skinned black woman as well, being able to see how people perceive you and judge you throughout life gives you a different like vantage point, because you're truly at the bottom and you can see the privileges that other people get to like live in, that
Right.
you sometimes don't get to experience, but you still see the like foolishness in it. So
I agree.
like it's sad, but if women all over the world, but if black women think that anybody out here other than ourselves is our friend, is insane. And sometimes you can't even trust ourselves, because my mom, my grandma, all of them was Pickmes.
Yep, 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 yep. You know what? I was thinking, have y'all seen that blue bracelet movement where them
Oh
white
my
two
god.
women trying to put on them do stupid blue bracelets to make somebody feel like they a safe space? First of all, I would never trust none of y'all at all. I don't care if you got a blue bracelet on, a green bracelet on, a rainbow one on, a yellow green one, zebra colored. I would never trust you regardless on what bracelet that you got. That's just literally insane. That's very performative, very stupid. And you want me to believe something, but the stats of how many of y'all did what y'all did on this election and how y'all treat black women on a regular basis in workplaces and school, it lets me know that none of that stuff is true. Y'all just want to look like y'all doing something when y'all not. Just ridiculous.
Performative, like you said.
Yeah, any black woman that will really call in and believe that, like I'm gonna tell her, please send me your debit card information.
Right?
The IRS said that you owe them $3 billion, so just go ahead and make payments to my account every month. Like,
Like, but that's the thing though. Like, I think that because we were so male centered, it's the
That part.
reason why we are trying to look for some type of male savior. Either they're in a dress where they like other men, whether they white tea men or black men. Women. Well, we just gonna talk about black women. Black women still believe that a man is her savior, no matter what. And I believe that is why, when it comes to when we have these movements, why these women still will say, well, certain men, they don't want to say no men. They want to say certain men. And then they say, and then when we go, okay, we going to say, okay, this one dude come in. And then you have one woman, especially these boy moms, my son, I got a son, so I don't believe it. All this other stuff. And it's never really a woman that's on business. It's hard to come across women that's on business that say, no, we make exception for no men. And then when they question me, because I say, yes, I have a son. He's my first child, my only son. This is literally my only child I got on this planet. And they say, how can you feel this way and say you're going to exclude everyone and you the one who have a son? I said, because my son may not be a danger to me, but he can be a danger to another woman. That's the point. That's the point. If we are in an all women society, I'm not going to make an exception for my son, especially when he's a man. It's different as a child, because I'm for black women and black children. As a child, boy children, of course, are welcome because they're children. But men in particularly are not. Men in particularly are not, because one, you already had a taste of a woman. We don't know how deep your misogyny goes, and we don't know how many women you have hurt to get to this point and say, well, I every time when I come across a dude that's supposedly helping for women's rights and everything, they all was misogynistic, scumbag, toxic men. Out of everything they've done to women, now you're finally seeing the light. You've been dogging women for 30 years. Now you finally see the light. And to me, those are the type of men you do still got to look out for, because all it takes is just one woman that they want to reject them, and they right back where they started. They right back and they started. If you even look at the content creators, you look at the men, even the men that are supposedly on our side and talk about other men and stuff like that, you still gotta side eye them too, because at the end of the day, they are men. And it seemed like a lot of women want to forget that. Women. I don't think women really want to accept the nature that, like, the nature of men. Are there exceptions? Sure, but that don't mean they have to be, like, an exact alliance. They can be they could be from a distance, whatever. If you feel like you want to help women, you could do it on your side, you can do it on your corner. You don't have to be affiliated with us, you don't have to have access to us in order to fight the same fight. You don't have to. But what these men feel like, when they want to help us, they still feel like they should have access to us. And once you tell a man no, it's about rejection. It just drives them crazy. That as soon as you reject them, they true personality come out. Just like with T people, T women. When you say no, they get up, they get irate, they get upset, they become belligerent, and sometimes violent towards you when you reject them. And I don't feel, like I said, for me personally, I don't feel like women are ready to let go of men. That's why they always try to make some excuse to still welcome men into the fold. And G men and T women are basically they little way to sneak them all in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I look at that as you give the meat to the dogs and you go in and rob the house. Like, I mean, if you are showing men that you could be accepted as long as you are a G or as a woman, you're going to be welcome in with us. And that is extremely dangerous. You're taking away the security. You're taking away the fact that we are having, like I said, discernment. We drew a line. We have a boundary. But it seems like y'all always want to come up with an excuse to try to chip away our boundaries and stuff. And I don't like that, Oh, she don't like what I'm saying? Oh, well.
I'm not for
She put
sure. I'm not for
yeah.
sure. That's why I asked her what's up. She had a question mark.
Okay.
I didn't know. I don't know for sure. That's why I asked. I was
Yeah. If she wants to ask me something, I can fully tell her what I feel. And because, like, as y'all know, I'm an open book and I'm very honest about how I feel. And that's the truth of the matter, is women are not ready to let go of men. And I feel like that will always be a downfall. Even women that claim we descend to men, we want nothing to do with men, they still want to find that exceptional man all the time.
I definitely agree with that. I think that that's kind of like, if you want me to be real, I think that's like a biological thing. I think that, women and men, if you're heterosexual anyway, that a lot of times you may have a desire for like a male, presence, or, certain men that actually like women, which, those are in short supply these days, but they may have a desire for like a feminine presence around them. I don't necessarily know if you can necessarily get around that per se, at least some women, but I do think that even if, let's say, you're looking for that, you gotta live in reality though. I think there's a way for you to have those thoughts but not be a pick me though, and not be a person that just would just let
Exactly.
ignore everything. Because I think, because my thing is that I've seen like a lot of women say that like women should just get rid of men in general, which I can understand why some women would come to that conclusion. I really can. It's not like I'm going to sit here and say, oh, I don't see where you guys are coming from. I don't see how you could come to that conclusion. I see how you could come to that conclusion wholeheartedly. But and the only thing is that I think that it probably is a tad bit unrealistic to think that because, biologically men and women procreate and da 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 and they come together. I think that it's unrealistic to think that all women are going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to happen. And I don't think that all women are bad if they want a man, or they have a hope that maybe one day they can find a man that's decent. But I do think that just because you feel like you might want to find a man that's decent, you can't be out here being a pick me or being one of them women that offer up your kids to a man. You know how, like, I don't know if you ever heard of that story where it was like this girl let this man, it was a black woman, she let this white T man move in her house after a week. And he ended up unaliving her 3-year-old baby and doing all that crazy stuff.
Oh my
He
goodness.
ended up getting killed too. I don't know if y'all knew that, but he got
Yeah.
killed in prison.
Amen. Amen.
So
Won't he
it's
do it?
like you don't want to be that type of woman. So even if you do, hope
Desperate.
like one day you can find a man, you can't be out
Exactly.
here like that. Like, because if you're like
Desperate.
that, you're an enemy to women, and you need to be somewhere else. You don't need to be around no women, no kids, no nothing. You
You
need to
need
be
to work
somewhere.
on yourself.
Yes,
Right, and
yes,
but that's the thing with a lot of women. They when they come across the guy that they like, they try to make an exception, and start to become delusional.
yeah, yeah.
A
That's
lot of these women don't like to say, okay, look, just like me, I'm hetero. I got a sugar daddy. He's trying to marry me, but that does not knock me off my stance on how I feel. Yeah, sure, he's one, like, he's unique to me in my own way. That's why I like him, but he's still a man at the end of the day. So I still gotta be on point with myself.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I
I got
also,
you.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
also, especially when you have women that say, "Oh no, I threw away men. I want nothing to do with men," especially when they stunting like they have. And I'd be honest and say, "No, you really haven't. No, I wasn't talking about. I don't be with men. You really have not cut off men. Let's be honest.
I
Let's be
think
honest. You know
that
what I'm saying?"
I think the way women act is more it's more like programming or conditioning. Because like, and not that we're animals or anything like that, but like when you look at the natural like environment when it comes to like let's see like a lion pride, you'll see like a lot of the females within that pride, they have more community amongst each other. They help raise each other's kids, and I think that it would be more like that if we weren't conditioned to be so male focused. I think a lot of that has a lot to do with the way that women are just like crazy. And then on top of that, like you grow up watching all these Disney movies and it literally programs us to be boy crazy. Like from a young age, a little girl wants a boyfriend. When sometimes a boy, he just like, ugh, girls are nasty, and they don't usually want a girl until they hit puberty. So I think a lot of it, when it comes to us as young as women, I think a lot of it is just conditioning, and we literally we program ourselves to be like reliant on men. Like even like when it comes to like, I don't know, like getting money or getting the bag, like women literally will, as opposed to getting the bag themselves, they'll want the man to get the bag for them. And
You
that
know
to
what?
me, it just,
I definitely agree with you, but I feel like you tread in dangerous territory saying that, and I'll tell you why. Because you got
yeah.
women like Shira 7 that is like super popular here on TikTok and on YouTube, and that's all she preach is let a man go and cheat on you, so let a man cheat on you if he paying your bills or this or that and the third. I think that all that type of programming, women that make that type of content, that they're doing exactly what you're talking about. And I do think that is negative and damaging. And I tried to make a video about that on my YouTube too. And women was going crazy. They was like, oh, you want us to be with broke dudes. You don't want us to have nothing. You want black women to
No.
be there. I'm like, no, wait, whoa there. I'm not saying that I don't want black women to do nothing or be nobody. All I'm saying is that I believe that you black women can be who you want to be and make it big and have a great life on your own. You don't need no Negro to do it.
But
You don't
here's the
need to be
thing,
a house getting cheated on.
I don't mind going against the fold. That's my entire life. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
mind
yeah.
not agreeing with y'all. Like, I'm cool with that. Back when I was dating when I got with my husband, we've been together now for like 15 years. At the time, it's like, ugh, like you dating a man with a pink look, he loved me. And yup,
All
So
right.
like, I'm totally okay with going against the fold. Trust me, I've had to deal with a lot of funny looks when they found out my husband was white. And I don't care, because that's the difference between being a follower and being somebody that goes on your own convictions. So like, I don't care. But personally for me, I'm sorry, it's not a bag in the world worth my dignity. It's not a
Hmm.
bag in the world worth,
I
my
agree.
pride. You
I
can keep
agree.
that. You can keep that. Even my husband, like before he even was able to touch me, he had to say those magic words. I love you. I want you. I'm committed to you. And then we had to go get tested. I need to see your test, see my test. Okay, we clean. Still use a condom though.
I
Wrap it up.
mentioned that too on
Wrap
my
it up.
content. Yes, on my content, right? All right, because Trigger, I think I mentioned
Pander.
it to you. I put, like, I don't know if Yada, you seen either my content. I put,
I follow both of
oh,
y'all
you did? Okay,
vigorously.
good. I go
Yes.
on live and I say, And I say marry men for money, not love, because I hear a lot up on this app how men don't want to be married for love. They want to have respect and yada yada yada. And I also mix that in with my situation that I'm in, and I say to women, like, okay, you know how you get men to stop talking about marriage and all this other stuff. Say you want to marry his money, and like I not flip it up, but like we talk about various things and how you can protect yourself in a marriage, because a marriage is a contract. Because women ask, oh, what about this and what about that? Yeah, it's ways that you can protect yourself. And and that's what I'll be talking about, a lot of things on my content when I put on the prompt, marry men for money. I mean, that's just me personally, that I'm marrying for money. But the man is still good to me. He's so nice to me. It's just that he wants to be with me when I'm only with him for one reason. But we both managed to make it work, and we still nice to each other. He's still respectful and everything. It's just that his feelings is into it versus mine is not exactly. My emotions is not exactly into it. It gets deeper than that, like we be talking on the content and everything. And of course, I always encourage women, make sure you have your own bag. Don't put all your baskets in one, and all your eggs in one basket, because they always say, the dudes be like, oh, you gonna be asked out if that dude leave you. I said, no, I always have my own. I always have my own. No dude you can't be controlled if you have your own. That's the point. That's the point. I would never be asked out. And I don't want women to be like that. I don't want women to be stuck in a situation where you are dependent on this man, rather he pay half your bills or all your bills. You don't have to be stuck in that situation. You don't have to be.
I would prefer your situation better than the situations where girls don't have any type of standards, or they let men run over them. I think when you have, when you go into a relationship and you set your standards and you say, this is what I need from you, and I'm gonna need it on the first of the month, at least that man is coming in understanding that you got standards. The issue is when women just fold for these dudes. Don't put no type of challenge for them. Men need to be challenged. They need to fight for something. It's in that fight that they learn how to love and appreciate you. So at least you ain't making it easy on them. Go for the pocket if that's what you need to do. But I'm just not for making anything easy for no man.
So I even put that we got separate attorneys. I'm putting that in the clause of the contract, that for any, like, you cheat or you be abusive, not only I can press charges, you also going to pay for it by paying the sufferance and everything. Like, it's very much very detailed on what I talk about, because like what Trigger said, the reality is a lot of women do want to get married when they find the partner of their life. They really do. And I'm not exactly against that. What I want women to have is self-love. Don't not let your emotions get into in a way of protecting yourself. You still have to protect yourself, because nothing is not exactly guaranteed. So if you do want to get married and you want to have a legal document in front of you to sign that you marrying this man, you have to put certain things into it, so this way you are protected, and most importantly, your children are protected. So it's a lot of things I put in, and that's why this drawing up this contract this thingy is going to take about maybe another week, because every time I think about something that's more in detail that I'm going to put into the marriage, into the clause of the prenup and whatever the case may be, I'm putting all of that in. And that's like what I like. I like talking. I like telling women to protect themselves. I want women to be aware that you can protect yourself even through a marriage, and you can still come out on top. Like, because I don't like to hear women are being stuck in a marriage, or they go getting married is one thing, but after the marriage, like, divorce is so horrible, and they just be left and destitute, and they got to start from scratch. And all I encourage women with my content, because I'm marrying for money, I'm thinking like a businesswoman, and I want women to think like a businesswoman when you are getting into a relationship with a man. I just want women to be safe. That's basically the premise of my live.
But no, by having those standards, they will evolve as women. So I'm not against that at all. I just think that women, again, need to have those standards and those like things that they do not fold on, because I feel like men play games, especially like the men out here that, and then on top of that, like just red flags, like I'm sorry, if a man don't want to use a condom, I see that as a red flag. That is an ultra red flag. But we aren't conditioned to see that. We think, oh, he wants to be one with me, he wants to have a baby. What? Why are we seeing this as a good thing? Why are we seeing this as, he's not concerned about your hormones, you getting on birth control? Like, it's so many red flags men give us that we got to pay attention to.
All right, I got you, ladies. I am going to end this live, you guys, because I'm going to get me something to eat. But I'm so happy that T, of course, that you came up here. It's always good to have you. And also, Yada, I'm so glad that you came up and offered your perspective and thoughts on everything too. I feel like what you said to be very helpful to anyone that is listening. I appreciate you, and also the things that you said, T, also as well. But I appreciate both of you, ladies. I'm so happy that y'all came up here because I thought it was just gonna be me. I was like, oh, they gonna have a boring life.
No, girl, you already know what your lives are never important. They never bored. Only unless when you talk about celebrities I don't know about, then I'll be like, oh, damn, I don't know what this conversation about. But I'll tap the screen and I'll gift the panel. That's what I do.
Every time you go live, I'm always like tuning in. And then you as well, T, like I've heard you talk about your son, and I once commented on how like an amazing mother you are, because it's so rare to see a boy mom that holds their, yes,
Yeah.
it's so rare to see a boy mom who hold their son.
Oh, I think
Sorry,
she. Okay.
I got a quick call, but your son will grow up to be a great man because he has you. So I just wanted to say that as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That makes me feel good. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, and I just want any black woman that's listening to this. I always say this: if you're a black woman, you're listening to this, you're awesome, you're amazing, you're valuable, you're special. And if nobody told you that, then I'm telling you that right now. You are the blueprint, which is the reason why we stay in everybody's mouth, because people recognize our greatness. They just don't want us to recognize it. So I send y'all love, light, and positivity and healing. And hopefully you guys have a great rest of y'all week. And oh yeah, and I hope y'all get everything that y'all want to get out of life, even if things deep down inside you're too afraid to tell somebody because you think they're too small, was too big for you. You can't do it. You can't achieve it. You can. All you got to do is just put your mind to it, and you'll be able to get that too. So I'll see y'all later. Thanks again, T. Thanks, Yada. And yeah, I appreciate. Oh, did you have something?
Love y'all.
Okay. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.